Hey, no, I don't want to say that on camera.
He's not going to say it on camera. Good morning, ladies and germs. Well, I don't know what episode it is because I'm really behind on editing. It is November 2nd. The white cocaine of Montana has finally landed. So, yeah. Started working on the truck yesterday and it didn't pan out quite so well. I was missing a few parts, so I ran to the hardware store, picked up some new stuff. Let's see. Whew. This was the original backwasher to the bushings on the radius arms, and I decided, well, I was just gonna get one new one and fix this old one, but then I was like, they're almost the same exact size at the hardware store, so I just got two instead. So we're gonna coat them real quick with some paint, and just for matching reasons, probably gonna come off anyway, but that's besides the point. So, and as you can see, it's kind of buried back here. Let me show you. Dad and I started on passenger side I-beam and radius arm yesterday. I wish we had finished it because now it's sleet outside. It's disgusting. And I'd rather it just be snowing, to tell you the truth. So anyway, kind of got started. Realized I needed these parts. And I just didn't want to finish it because it was getting late and dark. But I should have finished it because now I got to deal with all the snow. So yeah, we're gonna get these painted real quick and then start installing the rest of the front suspension. Kind of wanted to mock it up on the one side before I started recording because I wanted to try and make sure I remembered what I needed to do to put it together, because I completely forgot. I had to rewatch the footage of when I took it apart. It was wonderful. Boy, that editing and video was pretty atrocious. So I hope I'm improving each time I put one out. But anyway. Okay, folks, I'm sorry I haven't been recording, but it's really hard because, one, it's pissing rain right now. It's really miserable. We put up our summer canopy that we usually use for shade, and then we put our old lumber tarps over top of that just to kind of, because it's not rated for rain. So we kind of have a little, area for us to stay dry and warmer in, but it's just hard to record everything while we're trying to put it together. So underneath the tarp here, which is really nice because we're not sitting in that. Still a little wet down here, but anyway, show you a quick update. So this turned out really good. Got the new bushings. I had to go to the hardware store to get that washer back there. I'll show you the other one. And then it's all torqued down. I mean, we put Loctite on it and I tightened it as much as I could. I can't get it to go any further. So we're just gonna go with that and see if it stays. We got the spring mocked up right now. I had to go get four new bolts and nuts for the spring hanger. Spring hanger here, and then we're mocking everything up. Remember that big bolt underneath here matches that one there. It's underneath this little plate, and then we got to have this plate there to hold the spring coil at the base down when we torque that nut down. So we're just kind of leaving everything loose right now. We're getting everything mocked up, and then we'll put red Loctite on it and then torque it down as best we can. I got my new impact wrench, so we'll try to do that on as many as we can. If you're asking why I'm using red instead of blue, I don't plan on getting back into this. Obviously, that's a stupid thing because you might always have to get back into it, but I'll be able to break it loose at some point. Either the bolts will snap or my back will, so there's that. follow my Instagram, you know, you've seen them. But we finally get to put the fronts on today. I'm super stoked. It's gonna look great. So, got these bad boys. Who said you can't do coil-over shocks on an old 73? I don't think anybody, but we're gonna slap that in right next to the silver. Okay, so we ran into another little snag, but not a huge one. So the eye bolt of the shock is a 1/2 inch. The eye bolt of the spring shock hanger is just a tad smaller. So what I'm gonna do is I took a 1/2 inch washer, inside diameter, and we're gonna put it against the hole of the spring hanger, mark it with this silver Sharpie, and take my dad's Dremel bit and just wallow it out until it matches the size of that. That way there's no slop on either the bracket or the shock, causing the bolt to wear out faster than it should. It'll all be solid. So then we got to go to the hardware store and actually buy bolts and the nut that'll be that length. So come back in a second. So I went to the hardware store, picked up some, well, not this, but some 1/2 inch bolts that are longer with some nylon locking nuts. So that should be kind of nice. Never used them before. Heard they're really good though, and it's worth the money. This, however, is Macallan with a little bit of Sprite. It's really good. So now, oh, ow, that was my back. So now we get to install the 1/2 inch bolts here and show you. So, see, I knew I kept the radiator mount pads there for a reason. I should have removed those, but we're not gonna do that. Trying to do this one-handed is kind of not beneficial for anybody. Yep. So pretty much, you know what has to happen. So I don't think I could say it any other way besides just it goes there. We got the bolt through. A little persuasion with a hammer always is beneficial. So we have everything mocked up. It's looking amazing. So we are going to start torquing Loctite and then torquing everything down, and then we're done on this side, and then we can start on the driver's side. Well folks, it's getting kind of dark. It's about 5:40, but Dad and I finished the front suspension parts. Got the springs, the shocks, the I-beams, the radius arms. Everything has been either tightened down with Loctite and torqued to tight spec. So it's the brake caliper bracket and the dust shield, and it just goes on here at the end of the spindle. I'm just going to do that on both sides, and I think we're going to call it a night. We'll do the brakes, the rotor and hub and bearing and all that jazz tomorrow, or next time I can get to this, because it's just getting late. Boys are cranky, and I'm tired of being outside right now because it is cold. So anyway, hope you guys are enjoying the content. I'm enjoying getting this together finally, and I do have to say the black, red, and silver combo looks pretty mean. I like it. So, all right, get this together real quick. Okay, so we got the brake, brake bracket, caliper bracket, and the dust shield on both sides. Those bolts are tightened down, and tomorrow we will get the brake rotor, hub, and bearings and all that jazz done. But I feel like this is a win today, huh?
Yes, it's a win today. It was a job.
It was a very big job. All right, well, there's daylight again. This is what we ended with last night. Everything got soaked. A little bit of rust formed on the spindle here. I don't know if you can see that. There it is. But it's not going to be enough to screw it up after it gets. I'm going to rub grease all around that. And then we got the bearings packed. I didn't really record it because it's kind of a mess. So these are the inners with the rear seal on. I coated the entire inside of the hub, both rotors. We got the outers, cotter pins, and jumping back and forth here. So we'll show you how this goes on. So first, it's the rotor, this key washer, then we got the nut, the lock washer. Oh, the bearing has to go in. See, I already forgot that step. We're gonna see how well this goes. Okay, sorry if the footage is shaky. Got this one on. It was at a bad angle on the rear bearing. The inner cone wasn't on the spindle perfectly. It was at an angle, so it was stuck. I shoved my fingers in the cooling fins to get grip, and when I came out, you can see the bruising lines. I know it doesn't look like much, but it hurts so bad. So anyway, we got the outer bearing in now, the washer, or the nut. We're gonna tighten that down and then put the lock washer in the cotter pin and then the dust cap, and this side should be done. Well, there she goes. The entire front end has been redone. Brand new bearings, races, repurposed rotors with brand new studs, repainted everything. New bushings, new hardware. Man, this feels good to finally be at this point, y'all. I didn't think it was gonna happen. I honestly didn't. But perfect amount of drag. So now I get to slap the old wheels and tires on. I mean, the only thing I'm forgetting is the brake caliper and pads, but I'm gonna wait to throw those on just because I need to bleed them and everything else. Holy smokes. All right, let's get some wheels and tires on this thing.